towards the end there, I was the adult, and I had to fish feces out of her butt because she couldn't poop, and it's just like, fuck. I just want to make it better.
Oh God! I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules,
and we doing filmographies. As I was editing these today, I don't think I want to do the song anymore, but I was going to say it's up to you if you want to do the song. I can't stand listening to myself sing these songs.
On the 20th day of on the 20th day of Pitt's Miss, my true love gave to me. Hey, interview with a vampire.
Did you say or the?
Interview with a vampire.
The vampire.
The vampire. Right, because in the book, he's actually the vampire.
Yeah.
And the other guy's the kid. Or the lad or something. Yeah, he's significantly younger than Christian Slater is. Yeah, man. Interview with a vampire. The vampire. God Lord. Is that what it's called? No, it's from 1994.
Man, I'll tell you, let me just throw out there before we get into all the facts and figures, baby. I thought this was a real cool vampire movie when I was a little kid. I got some real thoughts on it we're going to get into later, but I think it's funny that I was just like, yeah, man, it's a pretty cool vampire movie.
It's interesting because I thought it was kind of lame when I was a kid.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't know what would have come out at the time, but I think I was just more conditioned to Lost Boys. And
burn rubber does not mean warp speed.
Yeah. I think I was just real pumped to have any kind of monsters whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So olden time vampires. Oh, neat.
Yeah. And they really are olden time for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
And then they're not for a little bit of time.
Hit me with those facts and figures.
The tagline for this movie is, drink from me and live forever.
That's you drinking?
Yeah.
That's enough. It's enough. Damn it. You're drinking me up.
The budget was estimated $60 million. Worldwide gross, $223.6 million.
Yeah, I was pretty sure this is a huge hit.
It was. In fact, it was such a huge hit that Oprah Winfrey walked out of the viewing because it was too bloody.
Yeah, I mean, goddamn, the first half of this movie is pretty depressing. They're just going around drinking everybody. I don't like that.
Yeah, Kelly's like, oh, I don't like that.
Nah, Jenny was like, I would hate to have watched this.
Christian Slater got the role of Daniel Malloy.
Because River Phoenix fucking died.
He did. After doing the movie, Slater donated his $250,000 salary to two of Phoenix's favorite charities.
Oh, that's good.
Our boy Stephen Dorff was also considered for the role, as was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Huh. I really like Slater in this, actually. It's so weird that we've seen three Slaters now with Billie Jean, True Romance, and Interview with the Vampire.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
Oh, wait, 4 because of Cuffs.
Cuffs, yeah. I'm like, wait a second. Something's missing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just impressed because, I mean, he wasn't that great in those other two, but then these two, when he's a full-on adult, I'm like, oh, you're good. I like you. I might have been giving you a short shrift. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that is what they say.
Pya!
Hiya! Anne Rice originally wrote Lestat in the 76 novel for Interview with the Vampire with Rutger Hauer in mind.
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured?
When the rights were optioned by Paramount, John Travolta was earmarked to play Lestat. Hey, I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
Over here. I'm not gay.
Do you think Anne Rice is just so horny for man-on-man action?
Well, it could be.
Uh-huh.
Now, because there was a glut of vampire movies at the time in 1979 when it was originally going to be made.
What was that? Fucking Salem's Lot on TV? What else?
Dracula, Nosferatu the Vampire, Love at First Bite.
With what's his name? Perpetual Tan. George something? George Hamilton?
George Hamilton, yeah. By the time the film was in pre-production, both Hauer and Travolta had become too old.
When did this came out in 68?
The book?
Yeah.
76. So Travolta was riding high on that Saturday Night Fever.
That's fucking wild. It's so old. Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
Yeah, me either. I was like, oh, it's got to be from the 90s.
I mean, I was reading this shit in 5th grade, so I knew it was older, but not. I figured maybe mid-80s.
Mm-hmm. When John Borman was planning to direct, he intended to use John Voight as Lestat.
Jesus fuck
back in 78, yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis was originally given the part of Lestat for this one, but he dropped out. Tom Cruise eventually got the role after Johnny Depp also turned it down.
They're like, this shit's terrible?
I don't know, but Anne Rice, after she learned Tom Cruise was cast, says, it's so bizarre. it's almost impossible to imagine how it's going to work. She completely disowned the movie. And it wasn't until she actually saw it that she then wrote a letter to Tom Cruise apologizing and did a video about how great the movie is. And
Yeah, he's got chops, man.
he's actually, I was kind of like, I don't want, but he's good in here.
Yeah.
He's kind of the best.
We'll get into it.
Anne Rice met with Tom Hanks to take on the part of Lestat after seeing him in Philadelphia.
What the fuck?
But Hanks turned it down to be in Forrest Gump.
Yeah, good choice.
John Malkovich, Richard Gere, Peter Weller, Alexander Godunov, and Mel Gibson were considered for Lestat at various points during the development. At one point, Anne Rice thought that no studio would make it because of the homosexual overtones.
Yeah.
So she rewrote the role of Louis to be a woman. And she had considered both Cher and Angelica Houston to play that role. And then later decided, nah, I'm going to keep it the way it was. Christina Ricci, Dominique Swain, Lily Sobieski, Julia Stiles, Aaron Moore, and Rachel Evan Wood auditioned for the role of Claudia. Natalie Portman did as well, but of course it went to Kirsten Dunst. It's her first film role, and she's good in here. Jeremy Irons turned down the role of Lestat, as he didn't want to play another character that required hours in the makeup chair, coming off of the House of Spirits, whatever that is.
What? Why are they spending so long in the makeup chair?
Well, it was said that each actor that were a vampire were required to be suspended upside down for 30 minutes before they applied the makeup.
Shut the fuck up, you're joking.
No, this is what they said. So that all the blood would rush to their head and it would engorge their veins. And then the artist would trace the blood vessel veins instead of just freehanding them, because who gives a shit?
I guess.
If that's true, that's really stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Tom Cruise is in the makeup chair for roughly 4 hours a day.
Why? He's got the teeth and a blonde wig.
Sam Raimi was considered for directing before Neil Jordan took over, and Neil Jordan actually has the final cut on the film. He retained those rights.
I don't know. Oh man, I don't want to tip my hand too much. I don't know that Sam Raimi would have been a good choice.
No, it would have been terrible. He would have done all of his Sam Raimi things, and people would have been like, God. Although the ending, the final scene feels like something out of a Sam Raimi. I'll tell you that much. I hate that shit. Tom Cruise prepped for the role by watching videos of lions attacking zebras.
Okay.
He was also placed on an elevated platform during some of the scenes.
I sure bet he was. I'm not little.
This says, after meeting on set, Brad Pitt and Thandaway Newton had a brief romance. But in case that's a typo, after meeting on set, Tom Cruise and Thandaway Newton had a brief romance.
I mean, she was in that Mission Impossible with him later, right?
Yes.
But he would have been married to Kidman at this point, right?
At this point? Oh, yeah, you're right. So it would be Brad Pitt. It wasn't a typo. I copied and pasted it correctly. In an EW interview in September of 2011, Brad Pitt revealed that he had a miserable experience while making this film. He recalled the discomfort of the makeup, colored contacts, and particularly filming in an enclosed, dark indoor area. He said at one point, he called his friend and producer David Geffen and begged him for a way out. Learning that it would cost $40 million, he toughed it out. During filming, tensions developed between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I wondered how they would do together.
Over Brad Pitt's alleged poor personal hygiene.
Yeah, what's up? My sister brought this up when we were watching Seven. She's like, I heard he smells.
According to Cruise, he didn't use any deodorant, and the resulting body odor became noticeable. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt refused to work together ever again and have not since. In the film, Armand is older, has long black hair, and is Spanish. In the novel, Armand is only physically 17. He has curly hair and is Russian. Antonio Banderas had previously auditioned for the role of Dracula in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, that's a bit early. Not super amount, but a bit earlier.
That thus concludes my trivia.
That's pretty good. Synopses?
Yeah.
Interview with the vampire. Hunk slave owner Louis, Brad Pitt, wants to die so he can be reunited with his dead wife and dead daughter. When given the chance to do so by the vampire Lestat, Tom Cruise, Louis instead decides to live forever as a vampire like an idiot. All pissy and shit because it turns out Louis doesn't want to be a vampire. He and Lestat frolic around the globe, Lestat killing people and Louis killing animals, until they collectively turn an orphan child Claudia, Kirsten Dunst, into a child vampire abomination and raise her as their daughter. tempers flare, vampire murders are attempted, and eventually Louis meets vampire Armand, Antonio Banderas. His second-in-command vampire Santiago, Stephen Ray, something like that, and their band of merry vampire theater nerds. Santiago wants justice for the presumed-to-be-dead Lestat, and Armand just wants that booty. Ship pops off, and eventually only Louis is left to tell the tale to journalist Malloy, Christian Slater. Will Malloy survive to publish the tale and glean the cube? Or will he fall victim to Louis after his interview with the vampire? Shot skis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
New Amsterdam Red Berry.
Revel Stoke, son of a peach.
Oh, those are good.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah, brother.
Not bad.
Bad up, motherfucker.
Oh, it's not terrible.
How do we do this? It's been a minute. Do we start with the telling of the tale, or should we just throw up some thoughts right away?
I mean, if you have thoughts and you want to get them out there, that's fine with me.
The first half of this movie is borderline unbearable, and it is the most homoerotic thing I have ever seen in my life, and I cannot fucking believe it, man. No, it's not unbearable because of the homoeroticism. It's boring. It is just eating people. And these tender boy looks and caresses and sucking the blood from the wrist like you're choking down a cock, it's fucking crazy, dude. And I can't believe that I, as a small child, was like, yeah, vampires. Shit.
It stirred something inside of you.
It never even clicked in my head that it was gay at all, man.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like Louis.
He's a pretty boring character, and
I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy, he's ready to have a guy just shoot him in the chest and kill him. Goading him.
it almost seemed like just another chance to show off his chest, because that happens a few times.
It does.
Like, check me out there.
And instead, all of a sudden this vampire comes around and is like, all right, man, here's the deal.
I'm going to give you the choice I never had.
I put you in a bad position, and now I just almost killed you. So if you want to die, I'll just leave and you'll die. And
Woohoo.
otherwise, I'll make you like me. Now, he doesn't flat out say vampire, but
Don't they refer to themselves as vampires at some point, right?
they do, but he doesn't say to him at this point, hey, I'll make you a vampire, or I'm a vampire. I mean, Brad Pitt may ask if he is at one point, but I mean, he's flying. He picks him up and he's, sucking on him. And
I mean, vampires might not have been a thing back then.
apparently not, because, it takes him forever to find any more.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't Bram Stoker's Dracula, isn't that like the first launch of like people talking about vampires?
Oh,
And
you mean
that's-
in like the public?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that was like the 1800s. This movie must start in like the 1700s? When does it start? Like,
1780,
was it 61? Okay.
69, something like that.
1791.
He's a slave owner in Louisiana,
I thought so.
New Orleans.
Nolans?
Yeah, no, but he's got long hair too.
Yeah,
A
man.
little bit of a Fabio.
Can you imagine being stuck with that stupid ass long hair forever and ever? Because his hair
No.
sucks, dude.
It does, and they grew that shit.
When you watch him walking around with that front wave in the front before it falls over the back, you're just like, oh, you look so stupid.
He does look stupid.
Brad, you look real dumb, dude. Yeah, I am convinced you are extremely handsome now. The more I look at you in these fucking movies, I'm like, man, look at those cheekbones. This is a handsome, handsome man.
Callie was like, how does Tom Cruise find the time to curl his hair all the time? 'Cause he's always got like those Goldilocks curls.
It's automatic.
Right, and I didn't remember that until it happens later.
Yeah.
I forget that, oh yeah, your hair magically grows. Like I can see you not aging.
It's like, are you like the most perfect, healthy version of yourself minus your fucking creepy white skin?
They say that, right? That you're the most you or whatever, but I don't understand why the hair just grows back suddenly. You should just not be able to cut it.
Well, I don't know. What do you mean it grows? Like I
She
think,
shears her head and then comes out and it's back to normal in a split second. It's weird.
yeah.
So he goes, nah, man, make me a vampire.
Do you still want death? Or have you tasted it enough? Enough.
That was pretty good, dude.
Although I want to die, I guess I don't anymore.
Let's do the opposite of that and live forever.
Because Callie goes, well, he got to the brink of it and he realized that he wants to live. I said, well, yeah, maybe. Still kind of silly, though. Right. Especially because then we never hear about his wife and kid really that much ever again.
Well, it's actually, I found that to be kind of a tragic thing because I would think the amount of life that he lives after they've died and he's become a vampire, they're probably eroded to nothing in his mind now.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't
He
that
was
sad?
alive for 400 years?
7,000 more years. No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be 400. 1761.
Oh, right.
1861, 1961. So like 220 years.
Yeah. 278. I don't know.
That's also still not right.
No. So he's a vampire now. Your body dies
Yeah.
when you're bit. And
Surprise.
yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you that. And they get weird eyes.
Cat eyes.
Cat eyes, yeah, but the color of their eyes normally. So
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's is green and Tommy Boy's is blue. You apparently also get like different powers, he says.
What is Louis' power?
Well, Armand says it's his humanity. But some people can read minds, I guess, and fly. That's really all we see. We don't see. I mean, I guess they're strong, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they? Because they
He
made it
lifts
sound
Christian
like...
Slater up pretty easy.
Yeah, but they also implied Kirsten Dunst couldn't make it on her own.
Because she was a child.
Right, but if you have super strength, she's still going to be stronger than like a regular person.
Oh, definitely. But she wasn't strong enough. Her blood isn't strong enough to turn someone, she says. Yeah, and so Christian Slater also, it starts in like modern time, and Christian Slater's interviewing the vampire in San Francisco. So the story is unfurled and told in flashbacks while he's recording it. And he's like, oh man, you're a vampire? I don't believe it. And then Brad Pitt, he's across the room. Oh, what the hell?
And he's across the room again.
Yeah, and he lifts him up, starts strangling him in the ceiling. And
But that's way later. That's the end.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And so he goes, hey, how'd you do that? And he goes, I'm a vampire. And he goes, oh, damn, you are a vampire.
Let's get to work talking about it.
Oh, man. Yeah, right.
I like that he feels like telling his story. I never feel like he's going to eat Christian Slater. Like, why would he? And what does he care if people know about him? Nobody's going to believe it anyways, but it would be nice to maybe have your story down on paper.
I was kind of waiting for that reveal. And remember when you, revenge or something. I'm like, that'd be really stupid.
Like Christian Slater's taking revenge on him? Or
no,
Brad
like Brad Pitt's doing something to him.
Christian Slater?
Yeah,
What could
I
he-
don't know, man.
Okay, yeah.
Just like it could, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't. It isn't that at all. Yeah, he's just like, hey, man, here's my deal. And if Christian Slater was smart, he would just write a book.
Yeah,
Maybe call it Interview with the Vampire
for sure.
and make money instead of what do you think he's going to do? Like write a series of articles?
I have no idea.
Because he's a journalist. Of some
I mean,
sort.
he's ultimately going to do nothing, but
So they're in Louisiana. Brad Pitt doesn't want to kill anybody, so he's sucking on animals
yep.
big time. And Tom Cruise is just going to town on people.
He's horrible.
Yeah.
He's a real mean guy.
But, he's got a point.
You're mean, Lestat.
He's like, we're the closest creatures to God alive, or not alive. Only we can, whatever. And so,
I mean, can't they just like not drink people to death? They are doing that later on in the movie where there's like, we just drink some.
Yeah, you'd think. For some reason, I don't remember what the reason is. They leave Louisiana and go to Paris. And
Well, I think it's because Louis depressed.
I guess. And they're like, we need to change the scenery.
This is
We need to go where they sell.
before Kirsten Dunst?
Yeah,
Well,
'cause she's
before?
in
Yeah.
Paris.
Is she?
Or wherever they are.
Oh, I
'cause
guess
of
that's where the
plague.
plague was. Yeah. Okay.
Even though she doesn't have that sort of accent.
No, I guess I was thinking it was Louisiana, and then you say that. I'm like, oh, yeah, the fucking plague.
Yeah,
Duh.
I'm hearing her talk. I'm like, wait a second. I thought they got her in Paris.
Mama?
Yo, dog. She's talking. So, yeah, Louis is sucking on rats, and he, one night, hears Kirsten Dunst crying or something, and he goes into her house. The guy goes, turn away, the plague is here. And he goes, that's bullshit. I'm invincible. The guy goes, oh, shit. And he finds her, and her mother's like,
Super dead.
Yeah.
For a while.
yeah, she's like the mom from Psycho.
Yeah.
She is a decrepit, mummified woman.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, this probably makes no sense, because, I mean, that would have to be a couple of weeks worth. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably look pretty rough when you die, but to be that green,
Yeah. But so Brad Pitt's like, oh, damn, child, come nuzzle on my nape.
and it's nice. It's like, oh my God, somebody cares about her.
And then
I got to eat you.
sucks her, like a little juice box,
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt Tom Cruise comes in like, I knew you'd do it.
Yeah, you got hungry, right, bro?
And he goes, oh no, and he runs away again.
Come back! You are what you are!
What's up? You like little girls? Is that what's up?
Yeah. And Tom Cruise goes, hey, I found you down here with these dead rats. I got a surprise for you. Come on. And he goes with him. And the girl's alive. She's in the bed. He goes, you didn't kill her, but she's going to die. So I need to turn her and hooch. And he goes, no, don't turn her and hooch.
I was like, wait, what is he doing? He's not just
Yeah.
doing that. He is just
I was just doing that. And he goes, well, she'll die though, you know? And he goes, fuck, all right. But right before that, Tom Cruise does the waltz with the mother's corpse.
Non piovrai farfallone amorozzo. There's still life in the old lady yet.
They look like a real dummy. That's what suggested to me that they have strength, because he's moving around a dead 130-pound corpse with little to no effort. So I'm like, oh, he must be strong. Or they just got the wrong dummy. So he gives her the juice, and she just goes to town on him. Just...
He says, enough.
It's time.
You're drinking me up.
I'm shriveled.
Now, has he burned down his plantation yet? He did, right?
No.
That was no?
No.
I feel like that's before Kirsten Dunst. I mean, that might be why they leave for Europe.
Back.
Maybe
because when they come back.
Because I think, really, honestly, Louis is his partner, but he's also kind of his meal ticket to have like nice things and a nice place to live.
So he gives in, does Thandaway, and then gives in again and does Kirsten Dunst?
I think he's like eating those rats for a while.
Yeah. Well, so she's got a rapacious appetite.
What did she say? I want
She's
more.
insatiable.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I need more of that.
I want some more.
I know.
Yeah, she's got some good lines. She goes from like a little girl to like, I want more.
She's a demon. And then Tom Cruise is like, word.
Hell yeah, that's what I was looking for. This pussy over here won't eat with me.
And they do whole families.
It's fucking pretty upsetting, actually.
She
think
sucks
about.
the piano teacher dry. She sucks somebody else dry. Teacher or the woman doing the dress. She sucks her dry, and maybe one other person. And Tom Cruise is just like, you little rascal. And she's like, I didn't do it.
It's such a weird dynamic.
It is, and Brad Pitt's like, they sleep in coffins, which is kind of silly.
Yeah, because I don't think it's necessary. Like, you really just need a room in a room. You know, like something like in the middle of the house where there's already curtains on the outside windows.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you're like sleeping like a rock. I think that the vampires will wake up if there's trouble.
Yeah, it's like I liken it to like cats. Cats are fucking sleeping all the time, but as soon as something pops off, they're always awake.
I find, the coffins seem unnecessary.
Yeah, and also like get a really big one then.
No, maybe they don't want that room.
You ain't farting in there.
Do you think the vampires fart? I bet you their farts smell bad.
I guess they don't because they don't eat.
They eat blood.
They do eat blood, but they can't suck blood that's the person's dead. That's bad. That's a no-no. It's like eating KFC after midnight.
Or just like a bag of chicken a guy gives you in an alley. He's like, eat this. You're like, oh.
At any hour of the day, right? So they're doing their thing, and
isn't that just so horrible? And they show that whole family, and they're going to eat them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, there's a baby and like a fucking 5-year-old.
And like Tom Cruise keeps giving her a doll.
Yeah, every year for her birthday.
And she's starting to be like, wait a second, Jack. She sees a nude woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, why am I not getting old?
Why does it take her so long?
What's the dilly?
It's been 30 years, right? At this
Yeah,
point?
like 30, 40 years, yeah. She goes, hang on a bit. I should be at least 13 by now. I think she was 12 when she made this. And they're like, yeah, well. And something pops off between them and Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. And she goes, well, why don't we just kill him?
Well, I think because they hate him because
right, but
he
something I
created
think
them both.
specific happens.
Okay.
And there's a fight.
Well, that doll, like when she's
There's
ripping them up and they
that.
find the bodies in her bed.
There's that. Oh, she cuts him in the face.
Oh, yeah, she slices them.
She cuts her hair. This is that whole scene. She looks like Lisa when she cuts her hair. Lisa Simpson.
I feel like that is why there's the whole Lestat problem. I think maybe Lestat's probably pouting because they don't like him anymore, and he just wants companionship. Even though he's a huge asshole, he really just wants friends.
Well, and it's a great trick because when Kirsten Dunst in her microphone hairstyle is walking into her bedroom, it's just another actor from behind. She walks into the room, slams the door, and all of a sudden rips it right open, and she comes out with her hair. Like, whoa, that was a split second. It's a nice little effect. Simple, practical effect.
She is really very good in this.
She's awesome.
How can you be so good at such a young age?
I don't know, man, because it's not even like, she's doing like all sorts of stuff.
She's doing Tender Girl. She's doing Tender Baby, Lost Child, Dead Mom, Shattered.
Yeah.
She's doing I'm a Hungry Vampire now. She's doing I'm a fucking 50-year-old lady in this baby outfit, for sure.
You believe her age when she's beyond her years.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, this is like a little person. Not just like a child, but like a better version, like a little person. So, yeah, she goes, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to kill Tom Cruise, though. And Brad Pitt's like, oh, don't. And so Tom Cruise, he's jamming on the harpsichord, and she comes up like, hey, man, I'm sorry about before.
I've brought a present for you.
Then I hope it's a beautiful woman with endowments you'll never possess.
Why do you say such things?
Oh, you look like you haven't eaten. Your color's not right.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes into the room, and there's two, like a twin German boys.
Yeah.
Little Wiener sausages, you know?
When I saw them, I knew they were for you.
Another bummer. Just murdered children.
Yeah. She goes, I knocked them out. They were drunk. And Tom Cruise goes, oh, you've outdone yourself.
A thimble of brandy each.
Starts jumping on the couch. I love it. I love it. And so he goes, well, I don't mind if I do. And he starts sucking on him. And he's just like, oh, my God. He gave them absinthe, you little rascal.
She's like, no, I
it's
poisoned them. And
I think she gave him laudanum.
I killed them, unfortunately. But it keeps the blood warm.
What? You let me drink dead blood? And he starts retching and
then she slits his fucking throat.
Yeah,
and
then
then he
he's
turns into a mummy.
gushing blood everywhere. And this is good. She looks down and the blood's just gushing. And she steps back. And then she goes, Louis, lift me. He lifts her up.
Doesn't want that blood touching her.
Mm-hmm.
And pull her to hell.
He turns into like a real... This was a Winston Harryhauser. Is that his name? Some guy did effects for this movie. Harry Winston Hauser.
You're saying it wrong, but I don't know what it actually is. It's pretty good.
Harryhauser, I think is the last name.
Stan Winston.
Because that's not a real Tom Cruise when he's all like sunken in.
No, it's great though. I love it. That's like The Hunger when they shrivel up in that movie.
Or Life Force.
I didn't see that.
It's a vampire movie as well. They're from outer space. She's naked.
Is that good? Who's naked? Is it like Helen Mirren or something?
No, some Italian actress, I think.
Could it be?
Oh, if it was, boy, I tell you.
We could ask her.
Yeah. And so she goes, oh, we better put him in the swamp. And they drop him in the swamp.
Shouldn't have put him in the swamp.
And you see these gators going in. It looks really cheap. And they're such bubbling, you know. And so they're living a nice life, dancing and frolicking. And when they're dancing at the ball, I go to Callie, I go, you think they just assume that's his child bride?
I mean, you know...
As opposed to that's his daughter. They're probably like, oh, look at his wife.
Don't you think they probably actually just assume it's his daughter? I mean, people...
I don't know, man. Back then, people were getting married
like
at 15.
That. Yeah.
You know.
But she ain't 15, bro.
It's true. What is she supposed to be in here? 12? 10?
I mean, you said she's 12 when she filmed it. I wouldn't be surprised to find out she was like 9, though, as the character was.
Yeah, she seems very young. And so then all of a sudden, Tom Cruise is there. Yep. He looks all decrepit.
Yep. And he's fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's super fast.
He's got better moves than
You know what he is? He's fast and furious.
And without limits?
That too. And he goes, yeah, you know, you put me in that swamp, and somehow he sucked on the alligator.
I think he described all the things he was eating in that swamp.
He was, but I mean, he was like,
up.
he seemed dead when they put him in. Yeah. So it's like, how did the alligator just end up in your mouth?
Bugs. I eat the bugs. And I got enough strength to eat the fish. Yep. And then when I get enough fish strength, I eat the crab. And then I eat the gator. And then I find little baby boys.
And then they get into a fight. And Tom Cruise is lit on fire.
Yeah.
And he's screaming like Mickey Mouse. And they run away. And it starts the great New Orleans fire.
Yeah.
Burned down the French Quarter.
This is somewhere between the murder of Lestat, which I fucking love. Like when she slits his throat and stuff, she tricks him. I find that really interesting. I really enjoyed her being a shifty, evil grown-up, you know? Like, I liked it. Like, she's still a little baby. Nah, man. You've ruined her. This is who you got. It's been 40 years. Between that and when they start traveling together without Lestat, and it's not about eating people anymore. Now it's about like a vampire adventure.
Yeah.
When we move away from the movie's basically about getting your next meal into this adventure, I find it vastly more interesting. I kind of love the second half of this movie.
Well, and when Brad Pitt isn't just brooding all the time,
yeah,
it like comes to life, and it needs to, because Tom Cruise was the life of the first chunk of that film.
It's true.
And when he's gone, you know, you can't let the vacuum suck every ounce of oxygen out of the room. You know.
Yeah. I mean, are you with me on the beginning versus the end, or how do you feel about the movie?
Yeah, I feel like I was into it. I found it interesting in the first chunk, but then once the murder kicks in, I'm like, oh wow. I mean, this happens sooner than I maybe expected it might, and what's going to happen, you know? And then they're doing their thing because they're traveling the world looking for other vampires. vampires.
Which I find quite odd considering they killed a vampire. I wouldn't think you'd want to find more.
He's got this burning question, I guess, of like who made Tom Cruise
But I mean,
for some reason.
I kind of felt, isn't it just her that really wants to find people? Like, he just kind of goes along with it?
I don't know. I kind of felt like he was saying that it was him. He needed answers. Because when he finds Armand, he's like, I got questions.
Yeah, because Lestat's just a fucking total dick about all that stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about it at all.
No, and you can, right. And you can tell, like, he either ran away because he couldn't follow the rules, or they banished him because they didn't like him. So, yeah, they burn down New Orleans, and then they go around the world. And I think they eventually end up back in Paris. And he goes, who would have thought that after looking for vampires for so long, one would just find me? And it's Stephen Rea. And he's miming and shit.
This is all wonderfully creepy when you come across the other vampires. I was really impressed.
I had an issue, though.
This second half of this movie is so... God, I can't believe there's actually like a creepy element because I was not feeling that with the first part at all.
So Stephen Rea is dancing on the ceiling, but his cape isn't falling down.
Oh, interesting.
It should,
Yeah.
but maybe that's his vampire magic. And then Antonio Banderas comes up like, hey, man, come back to the crib.
It's me, Armand.
I am a theater guy. Here is my business card.
Man, for as much as I'm able to be like, yeah, man, Brad Pitt's a little hottie, I'm not really feeling Banderas at all.
No,
Are you?
No.
I like Antonio Banderas.
Love him, actually.
I know he's like a huge heartthrob, but I just don't really get it.
Not in this. And in this, that fake hair is...
All the fucking hairdos in this is... That's madness.
He did dub all of his Spanish language lines, though.
That's cool.
Everybody else had to have somebody else do it. Then Antonio Banderas did it. And so they go to the play, Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst.
It's fucking a very upsetting play.
It is. It's like, I'm the devil, or I'm death, and cutting off fake hands, and...
The torture in this movie is really upsetting.
Yeah, then they bring out this hot number, and they start ripping off her clothes.
Hell yeah!
And she's like...
For cool stuff? For fun times?
I don't want to die. Someone help me!
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, everybody in the audience is like, what the... Because they're laughing at first, but then they're like, what's going on here? And so they... Antonio Banderas comes down, and she weeps on him, and he bites her. And then he tosses her over his shoulders to his group of blood-sucking banditos.
It's so crazy how it is very much like a theater troupe, but also the scariest monsters you've ever seen.
And they eat this woman on stage.
Yeah, and are they wearing trash bags? I can't picture.
I don't know. It's like they're dressed like ravens or something.
Yeah.
What I didn't like was that you can see the woman on the ground, and there's a ring of people around her, and then at the top of the screen, there was a second-tier ring. So when everybody descends upon her and she vanishes into the blackness.
It's so scary.
The people in the second tier, what are they doing? Sucking on the guy in front of them's butthole? They're not eating that woman. They're nowhere near her.
That's some really good imagery, man.
Super good, though. And so everybody in the curtain drops, and everybody in the theater is just like, oh my God. And in fact, if you listen close, there's a guy in the background. He goes, this play fucking sucks.
I was wondering if they're going to eat everybody in the audience.
I was wondering that too, but they didn't. And then I was wondering, why do people keep going to this play?
Yeah,
Hey, did you go to that play? I heard you went to that play. Yeah, don't go there.
I'm scared of them. They frighten me. This is really scary.
I was expecting it to be, yes, they are a roving, gypsy theater clan.
And I wasn't sure how you get away with eating a whole theater's worth of people.
Well, that's just it. They do that, and then they move on.
Yeah, but I feel like word would get out.
I mean, newspapers only go 20 miles back then.
Hear ye.
What? I can't hear you. I'm 21 miles away.
Hungry boys
don't
and
worry
girls.
about it. You'll find out.
That lady's looking pretty good. Watch out. She's going to bite you.
So Brad Pitt's like, yo, man, where we come from, bro? And he goes, what? You're asking the wrong questions, man.
What is the right question?
I don't know, but he goes, he's like, hey, I want you to roll with me, but, you shouldn't have turned that kid. You got to let her go. And Stephen Rea is like, you murdered a vampire.
Yeah, when they're walking out, you can read their minds.
They don't like that,
He's scary too. He's he acts like a clown a little bit, but he's scary.
So Brad Pitt, Kirsten Dunst knows that he's going to leave her. So she convinces a woman or talks to a woman, and she's like, yeah, I'll be your vampire mother. But Kirsten Dunst is too weak to turn her. She can't do it.
Louis, do it for me and we are square, bro.
Yeah, give this to me.
You fucked me over real bad, bro, but I'll forgive you.
When she kissed him, it was her first kiss. And she thought it was creepy and that he had cooties.
I mean, it is creepy. I'm glad it's interrupted, but I'm sure they did it 100 times.
Well, and Brad Pitt was quite upset that he had to keep, kissing this child in this weird way.
I mean, the least he could have do was, like, bathed himself so it wasn't as gross.
Yeah, right. Stop putting SpaghettiOs in your armpits. So he goes, all right, I'll turn her and hooch. He does. And he goes, all right, Kirsten Dunst, well, that was my last ounce of humanity. You just done took it.
Uh-huh.
She goes, I see that. All right, bye. And then they get kidnapped.
Just let me that tongue, bro. Oh, shit, here comes those spooky vampires from the theater show.
And it turns into the scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure when they're operating on his bike. It's real whimsical, and they're in their face, and everybody's got clown makeup on and shit. And Brad Pitt, we're going to put you in an iron box and wall you up behind a wall. And they won't find you until many years later when a woman inherits a hotel in Louisiana. And for the lady and the kid, we're just going to kill them, right? And so
put them in the sunroom.
Put them in the solarium, yeah. And it's just a well, basically. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't they just flying up and removing the grate?
Good question, but I think we already kind of touched on that, probably just being Lestat's power.
Okay, then if they're sort of strong, why don't they climb up the wall?
Right.
And bust that grate?
One's a new vampire, one's a baby vampire.
Yeah, I guess. Combined.
I also feel like if you had done that, they would probably be waiting at the top to throw you back down. But maybe if you could time it just perfectly, you
they
bust
can't
out
be
of there
outside
while the sun's coming.
Yeah, right. And so the sun comes up and it just chars them. And Brad Pitt's on the wall.
It looks painful and horrible.
It's absolutely painful and horrible, I would assume, yeah. And Armand busts the wall down and he gets Brad Pitt out.
I need you.
We got to go. They're dead.
Do you want to know my favorite number? I don't need to say it, you know.
Seven!
Brad Pitt walks the halls and everybody's leering and jeering. Mm-hmm. And he sees their severed or burnt corpses and they disintegrate. And he goes, all right, I'm going to get medieval on their asses.
Yeah, I completely forgot that this happened. And I was so excited because, you know, I am a real creep for revenge, right? I have a real problem. I really like it when they kill the bad guys.
Yeah.
So when he's like, and then I killed them all. And he's in there with his buckets of kerosene, his barrels. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, because they nest in a catacomb.
Yeah.
Crypt. So it looks like he's dumping over barrels of wine. It's like really red.
I just assume that's what kerosene looked like.
Oh, maybe it is. But then he has a canister of some sort, and he's just spraying it all over their coffins and turns over a candle, and he's got a scythe. They're on fire and they start bursting out of their coffins, and he's just
chops off a head, chops them in half. Oh, it's wonderful.
It seems fairly easy to kill a vampire.
Well, it's because they're on fire and confused.
Even still, you cut them in half. It's like, aren't you supposed to? I don't know.
I think the fact that they then get burned more is probably part of it.
I kind of feel like if you cut them in half, the top half would grow a new bottom half, and the bottom half would grow a new top half.
Double vampires. It does seem like they're dead, though, right? Because when he, about the boss fight, after he's burned all these other vampires, he goes and has a boss fight.
With Stephen Ree, yeah.
And it's great. And he does his little mirror steps.
But Brad Pitt's onto him.
Yeah, man. It's like, oh, shit, this is going to be a battle to the death. And it's like, nah, Brad Pitt knows exactly what's going to happen, spins around, slices him in half.
Vertically.
And he looks dead.
Or horizontally, yeah.
He looks dead as soon as he hits the ground.
Dead as a doornail. And so him and Antonio Banderas are walking through some building, looking at paintings. I couldn't tell if it was like pictures of the dead folk, or what the hell it was. And Antonio Banderas is like, yeah, I like you because you're the most human creature or whatever, and that's your power, and that's what makes you so great, and I need that in my life, and let's do it.
Do you come blood? Let's find out.
And Brad Pitt's like, I can do better.
Yeah. It's great, too, because Banderas knew he was going to murder them all and kind of lined it up, right?
It seemed like it, because he couldn't get free of them.
Yeah, he's just like, they're pretty evil, so thanks. Yeah, you killed my daughter, so fuck you. Later, you'll never find out about my blood cum.
You'll never get my ATM PIN number. And he just saunters off.
Yeah.
And then it jumps to like 19...
Oh, are we at 87 already? What is the movie that's playing on the marquee?
It was the Coliseum Theater. It was where he saw the movie. It opened in 1915. The theater originally did, because it was located on Coliseum Street at Thalia Street. It was closed in 1976.
Oh, so he couldn't have seen that movie?
Yeah.
Inner Space or whatever it was?
It was like, I don't know, not Clockwork Orange, but
he's just strutting out of there with his hair's looking
Tequila
better.
Sunrise.
Oh, it was Tequila Sunrise with Treat Williams. R.I.P.
And so that theater would have been closed at that time, so it's a lie.
So is this like Field of Dreams where he accidentally went back in time about 20 years, but then the marquee's confusing?
Yeah. So he's walking the streets of Philadelphia, and then he goes, wait a second, I
smell a fart. Is there a fart in the air?
And he goes into this old building.
Oh, why does it smell so bad in here?
It's wet in here. It's wet farty.
Hey, who's there? There's rats everywhere, drained rats everywhere.
Decrepit Tom
I'm
Cruise.
so glad you were here. I've dreamed of this moment.
Brad Pitt approaches him and he like scurries the chair away.
That's pretty good. This sequence is actually pretty great, man.
It's very great.
He's very frightened of him, and Louis been through so much he could give two fucks about what happened with him and Lestat.
What's Lestat's deal?
I don't know. This is stupid. Like, why is he still so fucked up? How long's it been? It's been like 70 years?
Yeah, it seems like based on the end scene, you kill one guy, you're in pretty good shape.
I know. I could see how maybe the first 10 years would be really hard if you're basically nothing and you're just gnawing on anything that would come by. But once you're half a person, I'm pretty sure you can start to fall onto larger things and eat them.
Yes.
I don't think it would be like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm confused because it's been so long. You've just been living like this for half a century?
You remember how I was? The vampire that I was.
Yes, I remember.
No one could refuse me.
To the point where you don't even know about electricity and lights?
Yeah, because, that's stupid. The helicopter comes down, flies right into the window.
Why are they looking at him?
I'm like, is this a SWAT?
No, it's the song, Louis. It's here to eat me.
It's magic.
It's false light. Can't harm me.
Don't you know about the moving pictures and the false light?
You don't see the street lights through the window?
Mate.
You're not being burned?
Yeah.
And he goes, we could be together and you can make me better. And he goes, nah, I'm not going to do that.
You know, I honestly, I probably would have got him some food.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have history. They like each other, even though he's the reason he's cursed, although really it's Louis' fault. Mm-hmm. It's entirely Louis' fault. He wanted to die. He had his chance to do what he wanted or become this.
Yeah. And it makes even less sense, again, with that end scene. So he just leaves Tom Cruise there, all decrepit.
And was that maybe like 5 years before the end of this movie with Christian Slater?
I guess, yeah.
Because I guess, this movie's 94? 93?
Yeah, 4, I think. So now we're caught up to Christian Slater. And he's just like, oh my God, man, that's the story of the lifetime.
But listen, bro, let me drink your blood.
Yeah, because he goes, wait, what? It just ends? And he goes, yeah.
No, it can't end like that. But it has. There's no more to tell.
Yeah, turn me. I need to be you. Can't you see that? He lifts him up.
You like this? Oh, you like being food for the immortals?
What? No, I don't.
And then he's just gone from the movie by Brad Pitt.
And yeah, he just leaves. And so Christian Slater runs out of there, gets into his convertible Mustang, which he left in convertible mode, and peels out of there. He's driving over the Golden Gate. They had to use the Golden Gate so that we remembered it was in San Francisco. And he's just like, oh boy.
Let me put in this tape and listen to what I just got.
Although it felt like the tapes were micro cassettes because his recorder felt a little smaller.
Okay.
And that actual, but who knows? And he's just listening to the very first lines from the movie. And then all of a sudden, Tom Cruise bursts out from behind in the back seat and starts sucking on him. And they're just swerving all over the road. And Tom Cruise is in the seat now and he's driving. I guess he knows how to drive.
I assume I need no introduction.
pulls out the lace on his wrists. It's all brown like shit.
And he gets slightly younger. And so you're like, well, why isn't he just...
I don't know if younger's the word. Less dead would maybe be.
He's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
You figure if he maybe has 1 or 2 more, he'll be peak Lestat.
Yeah.
So why haven't you done that? I mean, there's homeless people everywhere in Louisiana.
Dude, and even just bigger animals. Or fucking eat 100 rats. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I think it's the volume of the blood. I think people taste the best, but I think it's the amount of blood you drink.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. And so Christian Slater's not dead, though, and he goes...
I'm going to give you the choice I never had.
Do you want to try doing it in the Cruise voice or something?
I'm going to give you the choice I never had.
I think that might be Christian Slater.
Maybe. And then, Lord help us, we get a rendition of Sympathy for the Devil by Guns and fucking Roses.
Is that really who's doing it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't like it. I was like, why couldn't this just be the actual song?
There's a terrible talking track over a terrible singing track. And I'm thinking, yeah, why didn't they just get the actual song?
Because Guns N' Roses are real cool in 1994.
This was the final song they recorded before Slash and the other guy left. Whatever his
Duff?
name is. Duff! Yeah.
I don't even know the band, really.
Brian
There you
Duff?
go. Is it Duff McKeegan?
Duff McKeegan. Look at you. You do know the band.
Pop culture, baby.
You're a Chinese spaghetti fan, aren't you?
Yes, I love Democracy in the Incident of Spaghetti.
There we go. And then it fucking ends. And I felt so betrayed by that ending.
You hate this ending, huh?
Absolutely.
Why? What's the problem?
So, for one, Tom Cruise looks like garbage, but he's just actively following Brad Pitt around.
Yeah, Brad Pitt would know.
He would know, but also like, why?
Why is my dick so hard? Lestat!
And yeah, he would know, for one. For two, who cares?
Much like in The Favor, we never consummated, and that's all I've been thinking about for the last 230 years.
And for three, what about Christian Slater says to him, I'm going to turn this feller. Was he like in the next room listening the whole time?
He's probably like, this guy is pretty cool. You know, I saw pump up the volume and cuffs.
Clean the shit out of that cube.
Fuck, man, this guy could skate. He's got some skateboarding gloves.
It just felt like an unnecessary stinger at the end of a horror movie.
Yeah, I guess.
That's like, we'll be back.
I think it's like some weird Louis shit. Some like revenge fuck shit.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it just, the way it played out, I felt was really cornball.
I liked it because I remembered it from being little, and I was like, I like it.
I was waiting for the song that always hits at the end of the Bourne movies. You know that song? One's done by Moby. I don't know who does the other ones. It's the same song, but each movie has a different guy doing it.
Oh, yeah. Woke up this morning.
And it starts like, boy, boy, boy. You'll play it here when you edit this. And it's just like the worst song in the fucking world. Yeah. But the way this ended, it felt like, oh, Jason Bourne's injured. Oh, but he's walking away. Boy. That's what this felt like. And I just really didn't like it.
Okay.
I felt betrayed.
Wow. I like this movie.
I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, because I didn't like the first half. Like, if you were like, Jason, rate the first half of the movie you didn't like, I give it like a 5.
I mean, there's elements throughout that are strong enough that I'm willing to look past some of the wonkier stuff.
Yeah.
You gave it a 5?
No, I'm saying that first half of the movie I'd give it like a 5.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because I mean, I don't detest it, but I think it's actually really boring.
Mm-hmm. I also don't dig Brad Pitt's accent.
No, it's not great. I like him more as the movie goes on.
I do too. Absolutely. But the first little bit, man, I'm like, I don't know about this guy.
It just looks like Fabio Romance covers the whole first part of the movie.
Yeah, and they're always wearing the same clothes too.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's what they did back then.
Do you think he was doing some method acting, stinking so bad? He's just like,
oh, maybe.
I'm supposed to smell dead. I don't change.
They didn't
my
watch their
clothes.
crotches back then. They just put powder on it.
We should start asking people if Pitt stinks.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody to ask, but we will.
Yeah. I think he's the kind of guy, who he probably stank on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You think he smelled in that?
Yeah.
Do you think him and Leo laugh about how bad they smell?
Probably.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I find this movie relatively interesting. Mm-hmm. The second half, I just think, is really kind of almost the knockout of a movie.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it was too long?
I mean, it has to be long, though, right? Because
it
covers like 300 years almost.
It just sort of feels like they're in Louisiana, they go to Paris, they're in Louisiana, they go to Paris. kind of like
Yeah, it's just ping pongs around. It really doesn't feel like they're anywhere but Louisiana.
Louisiana to Paris murder. Cut out a little bit of that, of him just sort of, because they're sucking on women all over the place.
Yeah.
He sucks that woman's titty.
Yep. Yeah. It's sad. Everybody's so scared before they die. I hate it. And sometimes they're really horny.
What did you think of that scene between Brad Pitt and Thandaway Newton, where she goes, Master, people don't like Tom Cruise, and they don't like you either right now. And she like touches his hand. Seemed like really tender. Because he jerked her a little bit earlier when she was like, yo, man, you didn't eat my soup or whatever. It felt like there was a simmering romance that we never got to see. And then he just kills her.
But she's not dead, though, is she? Didn't
Sucks
he,
on her.
I feel like he drank her a little bit. I don't think he killed her because he hands her over. I feel
Well,
like
he kind of like
himself.
throws her at him. He doesn't just hand her over.
You think she's dead? I felt like he stopped before he went all the way. I don't know.
I felt like it was like a Frankenstein moment.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know, when Frankenstein inadvertently kills that child and he's carrying her.
He doesn't mean to.
He doesn't mean it.
He's just playing.
Just like Lenny. Yeah. Overall, I thought this was a pretty solid film. It wasn't as dated as I was expecting it to be. Probably because it was also a period movie.
Right. That's probably quite helpful. Because the San Francisco stuff, other than Christian Slater's vest, it really doesn't feel dated.
No, not at all. I mean, all you see are like just static shots of the city.
The movie looks nice. It's a good looking movie.
Yeah, it's pretty well done. I mean, God, there's candles everywhere back then, right?
Yeah.
I'd be so worried.
Invest in candles.
Get away from that silk curtain, lady.
Yeah, everything's flammable.
You know, because he burns the shit out of his house.
What do you rate the film?
Overall, I think I'm going to give this movie a 7.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 6.5. I love that. You know, the first part, no. The second half, yes. Big time.
The problem is, the first part, not so much, but Tom Cruise is really good in there.
He is. I find it pretty boring, though. The second half, I would give it like an 8, but in between, I'm going to go 6.5.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst really doesn't. I'm thinking to myself, like, God damn, she's going toe to toe with Tom Cruise here.
That's pretty wild. She's better than Pitt.
I didn't want to say it, but you did it, so I'm gonna. Yeah, she's.
Dude, Tom Cruise, when he's like, when he first shows up as dead Lestat, all fucked up and like messing around with the piano and stuff, he's great.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I like him when he wasn't vain. Like he's more vain now, right? He won't do these types of things anymore. He's found what works for him, and he won't do anything outside of his comfort zone. He's good in this. He's so good. But what? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I'd like to go through and just rate everybody. Not everybody, but
sure.
Like, I mean, what would you give Kirsten Dunst?
An 8.
That's a great number.
Absolutely.
What would you give Tommy C?
I give him a 7.5. I was gonna go 7, then I was gonna go 8, but I was like, I don't know, I can't do either.
No, 7.5. It's just a step below greatness. You know, those fake teeth don't help anything. They're so stupid looking.
Yeah.
What do you give old Bradley?
I'm thinking like 6. I'm thinking a 6. I'm thinking a 5.5, but I'm gonna go with a 6.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6 too. How about Thandaway, just in case?
Honestly, even though it's a pretty small role, I'm gonna give her a 7.
Oh.
For a split second there, I'm like, that can't be Thandy.
I saw her name in the credits.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I X-rayed it. I said, oh yeah, that is Thandy.
Very young.
Very young.
Oh, but she's actually got a Cruise connection to this because she was in Flirting with Nicole Kidman. It's with that Noah Taylor movie. I mean, I doubt that's what got her the job, but a little bit of a link. Yeah, I'd give her like 6.5.
Yeah.
I like her.
Antonio, I'd probably give a 5.
Oh, you didn't think he was good?
No, I didn't. I think he was struggling.
Interesting.
Or maybe I just didn't like the character.
Yeah, I just remember that, like, I'm running my fingers across the flaming off.
Yeah, that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Stephen Rea, I'd give a 7. Wasn't quite Fear.com caliber.
Fuck you.
But pretty solid film.
Surprise.
Anne Rice is credited as the writer of the screenplay. It was noted that Neil Jordan did a significant number of rewrites.
Yeah.
But because of the union, he didn't get any credit.
Stephen Rea's in like all of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did the one. I feel like he did The Butcher Boy. The Butcher Boy is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Crying Game.
Yeah.
In Dreams.
I would assume. Not a huge role, but I assume he's in there. But yeah, no, I mean, Fear.com.
All right. So that was Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah. The 20th?
I think so. And then tomorrow is going to be Legends of the Fall.
Yeah. Solid film. I'm thinking.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Check us out on Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We doing filmographies. X do filmographies. Email us at wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com. Julian, if they wanted to text us or leave a voicemail, what number would they call?
763-634-1897.
Oh, hell yeah. I think you should do that. That's pretty cool.
Rate us on iTunes. Did you say that?
Apple Podcast. No, it's where
Apple
we're going
Podcast.
next.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, rate us there. If you're opposed to that, rate us somewhere. Let us know.
Yeah.
You can pick a film. We'll run it.
If you have a Android phone, you got to use iTunes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. MTV News.
You know that was the beginning of the song "Meat Plow" by Stone Temple Pilots.
I don't know.
Listen to it.
I will. I'm listening to it right now.
See?
In the future. Go ahead and head over to the Now Playing Network, nowplayingnetwork.net.
Yep.
Check out some sweet podcasts there. Christmas Actually, Tracks of the Damned,
Yep.
Vinyl Emergency, Directors Club,
This isn't my wife. This isn't my house.
Movie Madness.
Yeah. Turner and Hooch.
Yep, the podcast.
It's about hooching.
It's just Tom Hanks talking to that dog every fucking week. It's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, but he did numbers with that coconut, so you can only imagine what he's going to do with that dog.
Deep, 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 deep. That's all you're doing that. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with Legends of the Fall. I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
And we did some motherfucking filmography.
You know we did.